Texas is digging in after the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government can remove the barbed wire in Eagle Pass, Texas, put in place by the Abbott administration to try to stem the flow of illegal crossings into America. Joining me right now, live from Texas, is the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick. Governor, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Sure, Maria.
Assess the situation for us in terms of that barbed wire and what you're seeing with the illegals coming across.
So I was down there all day yesterday, first to let our DPS troopers, and our soldiers know that we have their back because they have Texas back and America's back. We have fine young men and women down on the border protecting our border. In Shelby Park, let me give you an example. We put up the wire, we put up containers, and guess what? A few months ago, 3,000 were crossing a day, Maria. Today, zero. Zero yesterday when I left around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we know what we're doing in Texas works. For the Biden administration and Joe Biden and Mayorkas want to come in and cut the wire when we're having success makes no sense to anyone, even the rank and file Border Patrol on the border that we work very well with, Maria. It's just the politicos that he sends in to try to stir the pot. Look, they stood down. They said they're not going to cut the wire, and it's good news for them because they would have needed a lot of wire cutters because we have a whole lot of wire. And if they had snipped it and cut it, we would have replaced it right away. We're going to put wire down the entire border.
Well, that is going to be incredible pictures. There are cameras all over the place, but it will be really incredible pictures to see the Biden administration cut down the wire that you will put in if, in fact, it goes that way. But, you know, John Ratcliffe, who warned us about this 3 months into the Biden administration, says that, look, we didn't have a problem months ago. I can tell you that this was an issue that the Biden administration self-inflicted on this country. Why?
Because he is wrong-headed on a long list of issues. Okay, we can make a long list of issues, but this border issue is number one because fentanyl is crossing that border and killing more Americans than any other issue between 18 and 45, because we have women being raped, we have children being put into sex slavery, we have murderers, we have molesters, we have gang members, we have drug dealers, we have carjackers, we have kidnappers, all crossing with these millions of people. And he is wrong on this issue. He doesn't care because here's the agenda. Maria, America has to understand their agenda is they don't care if people die if they make their goal. And what is their goal? To put millions of people into this country, one day turn them into citizens, and one day turn them into voters and take over the country. That's their goal, and we all know it.
So
and let me say, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, how many people would you say that have crossed into America illegally on Joe Biden's watch? I mean, there are numbers, 8, 10 million. I want to get your assessment, the Lieutenant Governor of the state. How many people?
I've been studying this for 15 years. I track it by the year pretty much. And my data matches up much with MIT's data in 2016. We were averaging about 435,000 apprehensions most years. Think about that. Per year, and in December we had 300,000 alone. So under Joe Biden, we know the apprehensions, the people who come across the bridge and turn themselves in, want asylum, even though 90% don't qualify for it, we will be somewhere around 8 million with the gotaways at the end of Joe Biden's term, maybe as many as 10 million.
Wow.
Now, Maria, we don't catch everyone. So if you get 1 out of 2, we have 1,250 miles of border with Mexico. Our border, Texas and Mexico, is further than the distance between Atlanta and Portland, Maine. So there are people who get in that we don't see. So if you get 1 out of every 2, that's going to be 14, 15, 16 million people that have gotten into this country since Joe Biden has become president. That would make them, just alone, if you put them in one area, the 7th largest state. It would be the state of illegal immigrants. After California, Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, the state of illegal immigrants. And look, there are many people coming here for a job and a better life, but that's not our concern. Our concern is protecting Americans and protecting Texans from the criminals that come in, from the drugs that come in. And let me tell you this, Maria, this is a stat that many people have never heard. We've arrested 13,163 smugglers since we started Operation Lone Star several years ago. 90% of those smugglers are U.S. citizens. The drug cartels work with the gangs to distribute their drugs. They also work with the gangs to give them specific GPS coordinates where to pick up people crossing the border illegally. This year, we passed Senate Bill 4, I believe was the exact number. Senator Pete Flores passed this bill that now in Texas, when we arrest you, you're an American citizen, a minimum of 10 years in prison if you're a smuggler. But imagine that, 13,000 smugglers, almost all U.S. citizens, 90%, in coordination with the cartels. That's why, Maria, when I say it's an invasion, it is an invasion. It's a cartel army. You know, the founders never dreamed we'd have a president like this one who would just open the door to everyone. And they said, well, invasion if an army came. Well, we're facing an army.
Yeah,
we're facing an army. And they're well-armed, they're well-coordinated, they're making millions and millions of dollars off of Joe Biden. Don't mess with Texas. We're serious about securing our border, and I'm glad the president stood down on Friday and did not confront us. That would be the wrong thing to do. We don't want a confrontation, and they shouldn't want a confrontation.
Well,
we're just doing our
point.
job. Let us do our job.
Because, I mean, what is this going to turn into a civil war? I mean, you've got the Texas rights versus federal rights, both sides with guns.
And we believe constitutionally we are right. We have a right to defend our citizens. We have a right to defend this country. Okay. And we're just doing the job. This whole idea of Shelby Park, that they would come there, is just ludicrous. Look, these young men and women who serve our National Guard and our DPS, these are the best of the best. Why would he want to send anyone down to confront them? I'm glad they stepped down, but they need to do the job. And the only reason he's paying attention now is because of the election in November. That's the only reason he's paying attention.
Real quick on the Chinese nationals, we've seen up 1,100%, you know, military-aged men. What are they doing here? What's your assessment?
We apprehended someone from Lebanon the other day. What's he doing here? Why are they here from Syria? Why are they here from Nigeria? Why are they here from most of the countries in the world? How did they get here? Who's paying for it? Look, the Chinese nationals, when I first went to the border in 2007 as a freshman senator, I saw signs in Chinese Mandarin at that time, in 2007. We already knew they were coming back then. So we're being invaded. Make no mistake. One message, America, we're being invaded. Joe Biden, Mayorkas, Kamala Harris, all are lying about it. As I call them, along with Jean-Pierre, they're the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And the last horseman in Scripture says, and death came with them. And every death, whether they drowned in the river, whether they're killed in America, whether it's by MS-13, they're all on the hands of Joe Biden.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. We so appreciate your time this morning. We'll keep watching.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.